No, actually only the 4 members. The 13 is because we have to send it out to the public.
Oh, I get it. Do you have the extra? The agenda of the, no, that I sent? Because I thought it was the reports.
I always try to grab it, see what they want. Yeah, I
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. The chair.
May want to move back here.
All right. See what date it is. Welcome to the May 20th, 2024 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We've got 5 items on the agenda. We'll hear them in the order that they're on the agenda. There is one issue. There are only 4 of us people here voting. It's a 5-person board, so to succeed, you need at least 3 yes votes, even with only 5. If you wish to postpone at any time, just say so. We will postpone your portion, and you can wait till there is a 5th person on the board. We have 1 person out of medical and 1 out some other, something else pressing good man. So, Carol Robertson,
Yes.
come on up.
Okay, may I have the best friend in Pam?
Sure.
Robertson with me?
Sure.
I'm painful though, so. I can manage it now, right?
So you're looking to put up 10-foot high fence?
Yes,
Why?
because I can't stand my neighbors. No. It's seriously because I do have a 13-foot hedge, what's left of it. 2/3 of it, I was told 2/3 of it is dead. I've been fighting the loss of that hedge since pre-COVID, and I was just talking to Lisa saying, it's interesting how often I use the term pre-COVID to mark this, a time frame, but it's true. I've nurtured that, I have fed it spring and fall, because I could ill afford to replace it. And yet, no matter what I've done, it's shot. And yet, the neighbor on my right is a 16-foot hedge, it's gorgeous, perfect. The neighbor on my north, on my left, that isn't her hedge, but the hedge behind her is, it isn't maintained as well, but it's still well over 16 feet, but it's choppy all over the place. And yet, on her north side, is a hedge where Dick Lord used to live, and that hedge is another one that's beautiful maintained, but mine. So, like I said, I could go to replace it, because with a hedge, it costs so much to put in just short things, and, I already start out at 180, so I'll be 186 before I get full growth out of that, right? So it just, there's, and also, I always maintain both sides of the hedge. And at this point in my life, I'm not interested in finding out how to maintain a hedge. And so that's why fence. The height has to do with the fact that people behind us, we have an above-ground pool. And I know that she too would appreciate that, because I have a 13-foot hedge right now. And so that's why I was asking for a 10-foot fence.
They are gorgeous to look at them.
Pardon me?
And so they are gorgeous to look at them. Above mountains.
Yeah.
A little bias there.
But I understand that I don't want you looking at them.
And it would be to her advantage as well.
Yeah, and her property is lower than yours, correct?
I don't know that.
She has a one story.
No, wait, there's a property next, behind me, next to me, but
It's downhill from your property to hers.
the one I'm calling. I don't feel that it is. Now, the only, what's created that is, when our homes were built, I'm talking about the neighbor to my north. All of our, Harry Pay goes all of those homes at the same time. The home on my north is a race ranch. And one day, when I was coming home from school, I looked and the pitch was so high that I called the city and they had to look at it. The engineer came by, they lowered it. Well, what the neighbor and I decided to do was create a swale between the property so water would drain to the back. So that's the only thing I know of as far as different elevation.
Looking at it, it looks like the height up to the top of their first floor is lower than yours. And it does go down. Kobe runs a little downhill from.
So this is the lady behind me, right on Coleman.
Yeah.
Oh. I know where it's at.
Okay. And you're going the full width of the back property line over.
Yes, property line only, yes, and the back one.
Right.
And outside.
Any questions, comments?
I guess I have one. Why did you specify a 10-foot fence?
Well, it would be because of the height of the hedges all around me, and because of the existing hedge that I have. To drop it, I'm going to be dropping it at least 3 feet already. And it's always been very comfortable for my neighbor behind me and myself. It's never been an issue with anyone. But I'm aware of it. I mean, I would be aware of it, I'm sure.
What material are you planning on making the fence out
It's
of?
going to be a vinyl from Freedom Fence. Because someone I know had wood, but it just deteriorated. And so I was trying to go with the longevity of that. And, you know, I want to keep the value, maintain the value of my property. And if I were to sell my property within the next, say, 5 or 6 years, not that I'm planning to, but I would think that that would add a lot of value to so I'm trying to keep them, make the investment secure.
Have you looked at a 10-foot fence? My feeling, this is just a personal feeling, I think a 10-foot high white fence is pretty tall. And, I don't know if you've actually seen what the 10-foot high fence is going to look like.
I have. I've seen it not only in my neighborhood down on Sandra, which is even higher, but I'm only thinking about my property, whereas what I have, you asked that, I see it, yes, I have. Also, I found the Freedom Fence, and they've shown me the actual, what it looks like. And, I may even end up with an 8, but I was told that, in fact, 10 would be better in terms of comparison to what I'm giving up. In terms of the 13 feet. And the 16 foot next to me, for example. They're all hooked together and they're, in fact, I'm lower than any of the other hedges in the area.
There is a temple fence on Sandra, there's probably next block over, probably.
I'm sorry.
2 blocks over.
2 blocks
George
over.
Miller.
This is, oh, George Miller, yes, George.
And that they can probably see.
That would
When
get,
did that come before the board?
And they're very
When
attractive.
did that come before the board?
That's been up probably 10 years. 8.
It's been a while, it's been there a long time.
I don't remember that.
The 8 foot, and I think it's 6 to 8.
Now, can you measure from ground to the top?
Yeah, from the very heavy.
Okay. Because there was a note in here, 10-foot fence, 6 inches off the ground. Which would not be allowed. If we were 10-foot canvas, and they have 6 inches off the ground.
Oh, right. No, my understanding is, and when I've seen him measure, was from ground.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I don't want to misspeak, though, I mean, I'm not the one perfectly installing it.
Yeah.
But that's what I've seen him do.
All right. Any other questions?
just, I mean, have you sought feedback from your neighbor on that, on the other side of the fence?
Well, absolutely, yes. In fact, I was sharing with Lisa that there were gonna be two gentlemen come in this evening. And yet, when one of them contacted me and said, well, they both did, but the one that first contacted me said, you know, I was talking with my wife and we decided that we wouldn't need to go unless we had a dispute. And that was the same, that was the whole thing. I've had at least 3 conversations with the person right behind me on the Colby side. And I left a message, in fact, it was on Mother's Day. I left her a message telling her that it would be, I was going to be asking for a 10-foot, not an 8. And I told her, you know, please call me, move away and say hi, but that's it. Nothing. Because I did tell her I was also trying to maintain the degree of privacy that already exists. And that is significant for her. They have a lot of parties and, no, I don't mean in that way, hey, I love the party too, you know, but, we just do, and she knows, not a word.
Okay. Let me open up to the public. Anybody have any comments? Neighbors, residents? I think that is a no. I'll close the public hearing. Yes, we did have a couple of written comments we got here. From neighbors, I think everyone read on the emails. Both of them were in support. One from Ron Marino, who is across the street. Right?
Yes, diagonally from, yes.
And the other is Rafa Nadi, who is your next door neighbor.
Yes, he's to the south of me, he's only the 16-foot hedge.
And I'm right across the street and I'm in favor, so. I didn't write.
All right. I won't speak for everyone, but I think I don't have a problem with the fence. I think the biggest concern is 10 feet. I was just looking at the street view, and it looks like the eaves of the house behind you is about 2 feet lower than your eaves on the house. So their house is, give or take, that much lower. So they're going to be looking at a 12-foot fence compared to yours.
Does it, her home is a ranch, and mine is a split level.
I'm looking at your eve on your deck. You have a back porch.
That's a porch,
Okay.
yes.
And that is, call it 8 feet above grade level, give or take. And her eve is about 2 feet below it, as you say, like looking right at
I'm totally unaware of that.
it. You know.
And I guess I just don't think like that.
That, because we can't go on, we haven't gone on property, that's what we look at, is what it is. But basically, that's gonna mean that your 10-foot fence back there is gonna be higher than their first floor level, because you're gonna be looking at 10 foot, starting a foot or two above their backyard or their house.
What about the above ground pool? Maybe that, I have pictures of, that's really high.
That's a different story.
That's what,
That's a different story.
Well-
And I'm not sure how you get
I mean,
around.
I see that all the time, too.
Yeah.
That's way up there.
Yeah.
I think, my understanding then is if the homes, if she had a two-story home, then that would be a different issue.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just using it to determine grade where her house is versus where your house is. Not whether it's a two-story or a single story. Okay? When they walk out of their house in their backyard, they're looking at the top of your fence is about 12 feet higher than where they're standing.
But the hedge never bothered me.
Edges aren't regulated.
Well, that's it, but that's my point. It's still, I mean, it still is
I realize
an
that.
issue because, I mean, people have 16-foot hedges, 20-foot hedges, in fact, there's one that's got to be at least 20, is her neighbor.
Yeah,
So that's why,
but edges can grow, trees can grow. That's the whole thing. We don't regulate trees. We can't. Okay? So, I'm just telling you my concern. Okay? I have 3-foot fence in my backyard. I wish it were 10 foot, but I know that if I did that, it really wouldn't help me. And I don't think I want to get involved in.
well, I think also when they're out on their pool area, and there's a deck around it, they're way up there. And I don't particularly want to see that, they don't want to particularly see me. And that, because that could happen. I mean, I'm trying to keep, and I did say this to her, I was going for the 10 because I was respecting each other's privacy. And that never, ever, there was no concern at all.
We'll see how likely that be.
Well, the above ground pool is probably 52 inches tall, and so the deck is probably 52 inches tall, 4 feet high.
Okay.
So if they're 4 feet up, then
But 6 feet.
they're 6 feet.
And then you've got adult, they're both full-grown, their children are both full-grown men. And,
So if you're on a 4-foot deck and you're 6 foot tall, then you're 10 feet high.
yeah. Exactly.
How close is, do you know about how close the pool would be to the fence and how far the back of their house would be to the fence?
Well, I'm not good at distance, but I would venture to guess, but I could. But anyway, there's quite a distance between my home and the fence.
Is that what?
What is
That's
it
just
say?
speculation.
Looking at the street view now.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, because I live on Kogan, just a couple houses down, and where I live, I can see down a couple houses that direction, and all appears to be level.
Can you show the top view?
And looks like the pool is about 30 feet from the house. But the deck is up away with the house.
Amazing. We can just.
But there would be some distance between the house and the fence.
Yeah.
Quite as much.
Well, let's, do the seeker. So, electronically, on page 11, under E2, H. They've got doing web required by its project site. Just check yes. Joining the project site regulated by federal, state, or local agencies. You don't have any wetlands. Wetlands. So I and I should be no. Those are the only two that I saw that were really concerned. Anybody else have comments? All there in motion on the seeker.
I'll make a motion that the chairman review the seeker and the full ones
So we just have to determine whether the values impact.
and determine certain impact.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. I'll entertain a motion on the appeal.
I'll make a motion for appeal number 2367 at 52 Sandra Avenue for the special use permit request to install a 10-foot high vinyl privacy fence across the rear with FDR.
Yep.
And we approve.
Second.
Second.
There we go. I tend to agree with you. We got 4 yes votes, so it's approved. I would love to see you shorten it. I think the 10 foot is a bit much. And I think you may not be happy with that large of a space. The fence is not as good looking as a hedge.
No, it isn't, but I like the point where
You know, it's going to be a fair amount of expanse, that's all it
and, you know, the fact it is, it may end up being an 8. I mean, I don't know that, I mean, I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
In fact, what I plan to do is have someone bring in, this wasn't my idea, but I like the idea, of having someone bring over, a couple pieces of plywood.
Yeah.
Right?
Or
An 8 and a
something.
10, and I'm one of those, I can tell right away. And you know what? I don't want it to look distasteful for me either.
I would have to contract,
I don't, I think you can tell just by coming to the house, I like things just so. And so I will know that. It will be a good taste, I will be, continue to be a good neighbor about it.
ask the contractor to bring over samples.
Excuse me?
Don't use plywood, have the contractor bring over samples. I'm serious.
Well,
And
yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to say, everyone, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
For all your consideration. And I want to also thank everyone in the building inspector's office. They have been so helpful. This young lady right here has made more than one way to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I need to go to Iris's. I may need to take a cab. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
This is a good day for it.
Thank you very much.
Meeting on both.
We're close up.
Okay, Stevens, come on down.
Oh, go ahead, Tom, he's got a solution.
Raise your wire on top.
Don't be giving people ideas.
Thank you.
Okay, Nicholas, I know you, John.
Yes, Nick's dad, John Seaton, and it's been a while, but I used to sit where you folks worked for about 20 years, so appreciate your dedication and thank you.
All right, what are you looking to do?
So in simple terms, my family's kind of outgrown this house. I bought it in 2015, I'm a lifelong city resident, I actually lived for the city, 12 years for the city fire department, 2 months. I have 3 kids now and a wife, and house has got a little too small, so we're looking at adding an addition to the back and basically adding some bedrooms and a bathroom. I'm basically here because my plans are drawn up and we're about ready to break ground, and I was notified through the permitting process that my property exceeds the coverage by 4%. So we're to seek a variance in order to put this addition accomplished.
I would just like to add one thing. Before we started the process with Nick in figuring out how to accomplish putting an addition on, we did have a conversation because there are some homes in that area that went up on the 2nd level. But I don't know if a lot of you folks may know that those subdivisions that were done back in the 50s and 60s, Hillcrest, Leonard Avenue, Tremblay Avenue, the home, after we started working on it, it was a home that was panelized. I don't know if you realize that some of those homes up in the West End, they're not 2x6, they're not 2x4. A lot of them are 2x3 constructions that were done with panels and then installed. So obviously the engineering with that aspect of it would make it cost prohibitive to go up, and that's the logic of putting the addition where currently is now.
So all of those along Tremblay or a lot of them are like that.
Yeah, I'm sure the building inspector could probably tell you.
I have a friend that lives on the other end of Trinidad. His house is actually from 2x4.
that's the construction of this house.
My house is 2x3s, and the interior walls are actually 1x1s. Not very well framed.
Well, that's the partner, he lives down the street.
No, you live around the corner, you grew up around the corner.
Well,
Kind of sharp
ours
behind
is
the house.
Stickville, that was back to Lads, but John Ware lives in at 47 Tremblay.
Yeah.
So that's good. Interesting. Well, and that was one, I'm not sure, did you forward the thing to them. So you saw that where they said,
Yeah,
it's going up.
back in the day when I was sitting there, is this something that's common now, that there's a comment that comes from the community development office, or is it just because you're in the process of redoing the code?
No, I think it's always been submitted to them, they just never responded.
Gotcha.
And now there's someone in the community development office that is responding to just about everything.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
And right or wrong, she's got good ideas. It makes us think.
Well, we saw that, it's like, yeah, we sort of thought of a bunch of different things. One of them was maybe selling the house and trying to find something bigger, but his mom lives around the corner, you know, we're babysitters, and it's convenient being in the city.
2 kids under 2 is a handful.
Well, that is one of the statements you can always make, well, if you outgrow it, you can move.
Yeah,
I prefer not to. It's my preference, but
There is a cost involved
yes.
with just moving, period.
Yeah.
Agreed. So, okay, anybody have any questions about it, comments?
I'm just curious, is the, it's gonna be on slam or on foundation?
Yeah, it's gonna be on foundation and crawl space, basically. Because the house is actually right on the ledge, so the main part of the house, the previous owner tried to dig down and they hit that rock premise. So that part, I think, is. Wow.
And I think I missed this part, but you said the existing deck does not affect the cover.
But there was some comment about the breezeway.
If that's, if they decide to take the breezeway down, I believe it's 26.4%, which is, it's 25% coverage of our roof, but if you do it's 20. And so they said it's 4%, 3.9% coverage.
the communication that Nick received from the Community Development Office in regards to the new comprehensive plan, am I to understand if that plan was in place today, that you would not need a variance? Is the way that I understood that communication.
That is a possibility, yes. Yes, that they're discussing and looking at getting rid of coverage and only keeping open space.
Gotcha.
But that's not a done deal by any stretch. So. Any other comments, questions? No, it's, and you want to keep that shed.
I prefer to. It's got value still, but if that's a deciding factor, I'll go sledgehammer it down right now.
Where does the breezeway go?
So it basically covers between the house and the garage. It's basically wide enough to walk underneath and like have a grill maybe. I'm not sure the exact dimensions. I want to say it's neat.
Just a roof, it's not
It's
enclosed.
just a tin roof that covers you if you walk between the house and the garage.
Roof is only about 90 square feet.
How much square feet? Maybe. Okay. All right, let's attack this seat.
The other thing I wanted to mention, prior to Nick owning it, behind the garage, there was additional space that was created from previous owners that had some sort of a commercial entity here. I don't know if she was a hairdresser, but that sits as fallen by the wayside.
It's a very long garage.
Yeah, well, prior, I think it was 2 owners before Nick, I think she was a hairdresser, and she created a space in the back to meet clients, but there's no use there at all now for commercial, it's strictly residential.
Okay. I just realized I need to open up to the floor for public comment. Anyone, any comments? Other than hurry it up? Okay, I'll close the public comment portion. I will entertain a motion on the seeker.
I make a motion that the board chair review the seeker for phone number 2368 and check that no or small impact may occur for questions 1 through 11. Check that no or small impact may occur inside.
Second. All in favor? Okay, so be it. I will entertain a motion on the appeal itself.
I make a motion to approve a Class B area variance request to be an overage and lot coverage for phone number 2368.
I'll second.
Just repeat that.
What's that?
I make a motion to approve a Class B area variance request to create construction addition to your home, being overage and lot coverage. I just got the words on that.
I don't know if you want to get to exactly.
The amount,
Yeah,
that's
because you're gonna allow it, it's just, I guess it's.
no, that makes sense.
My side
Yeah.
to say it has for plans in the back.
Sure, and I'll add that as per plans that we received.
Great, you've got 4 yes votes.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have to come back for razor wire on the fence?
John, you know, there are some vacancies on this board.
I'm all in. I'll be an alternate.
We're convinced, Nick, that
It's got, yeah. Not a lot of work ahead of me now. You gotta go build a house and take care of babies. Yeah. Let's see you guys. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
All right, Eddie Boyer, come on down.
Come on down.
Now, Ed is a customer of mine, but I feel that I would be fair. I hope he doesn't hold what I say against me.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right. So what are you looking at doing here? You have pictures?
Kind of short hazard. Look at that. So, Aaron Ogus, from Robert
You have the
Sullivan.
best part out of the picture.
The doors are open.
The doors are
Well, we
open.
didn't have any presidents and other. My name is Aaron Ogus from Robert Sullivan Engineering, representing. You see Mr. Boyer purchased the Paris garage that had been in existence as a service station for, 75 years now. There's a historical photograph back in Old Texaco, showed the model days in front of the picture. I think as you all remember, it was kind of a tired facility that kind of eyes on, main corner in town. Mr. Boyer purchased it a couple of years ago and obviously gave it a facelift. We didn't expand the structure, basically just spread the insides, new facade, really kind of freshened it all up. And now that he's operating the facility, you can see there's a concrete sidewalk that went around the right-hand side, that goes around the back. You can actually look through the right garage door and actually see the door on the back side. You can see the daylight through it. The difficulty with the facility is that there's just not a lot of room in the building. So what Mr. Boyer has to do is when he operates, if you change out tires, take the old tires, you have to leave them outside, leave them on the side of the building. And where the weather's nice right now, it's easy to pick them up at the end of the day and get rid of them, so they're not often there. But knowing when it does come around here and trying to clean it up, what he's looking to do is basically provide a covering over that sidewalk area. And what we can do is basically use the same materials and set it back from the front facade to help soften the aesthetics of it. And really just to help cover that stuff so it's out of the weather, so that you can, get access to it, and also that back door helps provide a little cover on that also, so that, the winter and rain and everything helps get in and out. We've actually, Carol Klepper, who's the property owner to the east, she received your notification. She came over and talked to Ed and verified, but we've been working with her since the beginning. Obviously, wanting to be good neighbors. She's basically expressed that she has no problems with the proposal, because, we really got cleaned up the property, cleaned up her hedge, and we got some damaged trees out in the area, and helps, the sites of her property also. The project also went down to the county in the 239 referral. Can't remember if they approved it, a local issue, but they really had no exception to it.
Local issue.
Yeah. So, again, I think Mr. Boyer's gone a long way to really try to clean up the area, and this would just help make sure that we don't have the waste and the other products outside during those inclement weather periods like that. So, again, we chose to put on that side because that had always been a sidewalk that went around the building, so looking from that area rather than take away the green space, a little green space that has historically been there on the back side of the building between us and the apartment building.
I have just a question. What is it possible that that sidewalk and that door were added because they needed a fire exit?
Oh, the door in the back has always been there. So that was always there, right? It required, because you can't have just the overhead doors being the only means of egress on that space. So we have to have a door out. So
Does it need to be paved? I mean, if it's a fire exit, does it need to be paved? Is that?
The building, obviously it was there, right? It helps to have, tracking through the mud. So it's always been a walkway around the back of that building and access back. So we just basically freshened everything up and made it new again. So we realized that we haven't expanded the building and tried to respect what was there, and because it is, pre-existing non-conforming use. There's that RH zone, pending re-rate, but obviously that has not been adopted yet.
Is there a reason you're putting it on the back?
Again, we saw this as already hard surface, so we felt putting it there made more sense than adding more hard surface and covering it back, because from the door heading west on the back side is green space. So we didn't want to take away the green space. So we thought utilizing this hard surface made more sense than taking anything.
It looks like you just report that.
Yeah. You put a retaining wall down there.
It was all gone down, crumbling, everything. So,
Yeah, it kind of looks like that on the satellite. So that's the old, before you did your work, so.
that's historical photos if you want. Looks nice, that fuel pumps out front, Texaco's on.
We had talked downstairs about drainage issue that might be caused by your addition or the roof draining into the adjoining property. And I mean, would it be possible to gutter it or?
Right, so right now, the existing roof, all sheds to the north, onto that green space. What we would do with this, you shed to the east and put a gutter, and then bring it down the front where we run down the pavement, so it would not go onto the Cheryl's property. And we've done all that as far as, pitching the driveway here and the land out back. We recreated that as well to make sure we weren't bringing it onto the which is the street. So, like I said, it's been overall a great improvement to the property. That's fine, so.
You said it, we step back from the front of the building a little bit, it's gonna be walls all the way around?
Yes.
Okay, so the only really access point is through that back door?
Correct. And that way, safeguard, we don't want to door there because we don't want to have, when you come to pick up the debris of garbage, we don't want to have that right in the front yard out.
Yeah.
Blocking access to our doors on the outside. But there is a little bit paved on the backside of the building, with the park pulled out, not have to. They broke that out.
Are you gonna put a door to the outside?
Sorry.
Are you going to put a door to the outside?
So it's L-shaped, so the wrap provides cover over that rear door.
So that rear door will not be an exit anymore?
No, that rear door does provide exit, yes.
There won't be a wall behind it?
It will be open facing west.
Okay.
So it's L, so if you walk out and there's a wall, so you don't see the door, but it's wide open facing west, so you basically step on the wall. Outside.
So there will be a door?
Yeah. There's not a door on the enclosure, it's just, the enclosure is a front on the street side, along the east side, where Carol's property is, and then along the north side of the property, and open to the west. So if you walk out this back door, you can quickly exit to the west.
Is it gonna be full height?
No, we would pull it down, so basically be roughly what the white is.
So then it's not gonna be a secure area?
No, we're not looking to store product there that's, for use really just for, waste products, some garbage, some tires, the waste material. It's not really we're not looking to have, material there.
They're afraid of people getting in there and
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, because obviously we have to keep that access to the rear door with the fire.
good place for a party.
Sorry?
Be a good place for a party.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And I guess that's not so much our purview, because
Yeah, and so we look at it as right security, so we won't have the homeless person looking in, I guess.
Yeah.
We do that all over here.
it's college kids,
Walking back from downtown.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right, let me open it up to the public. Any public comment? None? Then I'll close the public comment period. Any other questions, comments? If not, then to the full environmental assessment form. So it's yeah. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that the board chair approve the municipal environmental assessment form for number 2369 to bring back their libraries little to no impact.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. The. All right, so he has 98, but he's gonna cover. I'll entertain a motion, and again, like you said, just say per the plans, if that's okay.
I'll make a motion to approve Appeal 2369 at 36 Broad Street, the Class B area variance to construct a covered storage area approximately 70 feet wide, covering the existing concrete grading overage inside and where setbacks as per the plans provided.
I would add to the, something about the guttering and maintaining the fire rates.
I'll make a motion as previously stated, but plus add the appropriate gutters will be added to the east side to properly drain and keep the fire exit accessible.
Fire exits that are, they'll make sure of that.
Yeah.
All right, you got 4 yes votes, you're good to go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your-
Let's improve the floor.
Everybody else is understand.
It's literally, it's on the fence, on the fence. All right, Musso Properties, come on down. What's that? Well, the fence is 2 blocks away, but
Nothing with 2 very tall hedges on either side.
okay, we have 2 appeals in front of us. I guess we'll consider them together and discuss them together and vote on them separately. That's okay. You got plans that old people can read. All right. Tell us what you got.
Okay, Scott Allen with Ken Musso, the owner of the property, and with AES Northeast, hired by Ken to prepare the survey and the application for this variance. There are 2 houses on the corner of Main Mill Street and Wall Street. They've been that way for quite some time. Mr. Musso acquired the property back around 2011. And he has had tenants in both of those residences since. We submitted a narrative attached to our application. It seems logical to introduce a property line, separate those 2 parcels. I think they may have been standalone lots at one time. I can't imagine why a building permit would have been issued to allow, building on the same lot. So I assume, without having done a title search, they were probably 2 separate properties at that time. The owner, the other owner, acquired the adjacent parcel, ended up selling them as a single lot. But at this point in time, we'd like to reintroduce that property line and make them into 2 separate lots. We outlined all of the variances, worst case scenario that we see. We heard from the meeting, the workshop meeting downstairs, that maybe we won't need all of these, so we could possibly eliminate the front yard setback requirement on lot one. If we were to consider it a pre-existing non-conforming condition, the same may go with the side yard. One of the side yards on lot two, again, pre-existing condition. We looked at this both ways from the standpoint of what it's currently zoned as, industrial out there. I don't know why all of this area was considered industrial all the way up to Wall Street. Certainly, pre-existing, long time existing residences all the way down Wall Street, the west side of Wall Street. So I don't know why the line wasn't drawn to, go along the rear of those lot lines of those residential lots that front Wall Street. But in any event, that's all zone industrial. So we look at it from that aspect, and we also look at it from a practical standpoint. We have the zoning table on the upper right of your drawing. Consider what the implications were for this in an R2 zoning district. So we've shown both what's required on that. And we put it in the context of if this were R2, you would need some relatively minimal variances. For instance, lot one, 5,000 square feet is required. Where we place the property line would reduce lot one to 4,247. Lot two meets the area requirement. Get down to the lot depth. On lot one, lot depth. Well, lot one is a corner lot, so there is an exception in the zoning ordinance. Lot one can, basically the owner has the authority to determine which is the side yard and rear yard on a corner lot. So it shows less intrusive. So we have 82.5 for the rear yard. On lot one, 100 foot is required. So some 17 feet or so shy on that. Same thing on lot two, 100 feet is required in lot depth. We've got 82 feet. Again, that's a pre-existing condition. But when we introduce the lot line here, what's pre-existing and what is no longer pre-existing. So we did a worst case scenario. We came up with 3 variances on lot one and 2 variances on lot two. We received comments just this morning, I think, from the Community Development Office. This is the first time I've seen comments from the Community Development Office in all the years I've been presenting variance applications to the zoning board. That's fine. Certainly, all departments in the city should review and make comments on it. As far as making a recommendation whether approval be granted or not, I don't know if that's in the purview of your Community Development Officer or not. In any event, before we can go to the planning board, we would need these, variances required before we can actually go to the planning board and ask for the subdivision. So, rather than waste, Mr. Russo's time, my time, his money going to the planning board, only to be kicked back to the zoning board, and came to the zoning board to ask for these variances. So that's kind of where we are. We presented information from an appraiser who agrees that selling this as one lot is going to be a financial hit on it. Have that in your packet. Looked at the properties up and down the street. There's other lots south on Wall Street that are around this size, 5,000 square feet or less. We don't think that we're asking for any huge variance. We don't think there's going to be a detriment to the neighborhood or any dangerous precedent that we're creating by asking for this variance. I'll turn it over to questions.
So, has it already been surveyed?
Yes,
Because I was thinking, if your south lot line on lot 1 was angled, go parallel with the garage, it might get you the square footage for the variance for the total lots.
yeah. There's a lot of different ways we could do it. Right now, we're already 8.2 instead of 10 feet side yard from the garage. So any angle we introduce on that line is going to decrease the side yard variance to the garage. And even at that 800 square feet, we would have to angle that line in such a way that we would get closer to the garage than we think we're going to. You notice we're 11 feet from the rear of the house on lot 1, the property line, 8.25 feet from the garage. We tried to come up with a happy medium here and eliminate as much variance as needed. We felt that we came up with it. We struck a happy medium where we had the line.
Isn't the setback on the garage 5 feet?
Especially for detached.
Yeah.
5 feet for a detached garage?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, how did you tell me that? Yeah.
Because it's detached, it's an accessory structure. And it's 5 feet.
Yeah. So, on the table where I have lot 2, it's on the right side of the zoning table. I still have lot 2. So, lot 2, so, minimum side yard. Okay, all right. We're not asking for the variance on that accessory use. We're asking for the variance on the manufactured home. The south side of the manufactured home on lot 2, that's 2.14 feet. We're not actually asking for that variance. So yes, my staff did catch that the accessory structure could be 5 feet. What we showed a 10-foot side yard is we typically show those dash lines that you see around the lot, those side yard setbacks that are for the residences in this case. We show those setback lines, but we're not asking for a variance for garage, as you read, only 5 feet required. We are asking for a variance in lot 2 for the south side of the home, because it's only 2.14 feet from.
That would not be pre-existing.
I don't know, would that be pre-existing?
The rear, for the main Mill Street, working at the, the rear yard or side yard.
Were you asking about the one on Wall Street? Mr. Chairman, can I join on the board?
Yeah, lot
So
2.
it's gonna be 2 feet.
Is your question whether or not this is a pre-existing condition?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pre-existing condition.
Oh, we can eliminate.
It's the other one, yes, the rear yard of the one on Main Mill Street is the one that's being affected, 11.25 feet per rear yard.
Because that's the rear yard from Main Mill Street now, because it's.
And that's the only property line, or that's the only setback that's being changed because of the property.
So what would that setback need to be for the rear?
They call it Main Mill Street. Well, I don't know what it is in the eye, but it really is, it's kind of not important what it is in the eye because it's not a high use. Rear yard, 20. So,
But if they move that line 3 foot to the south, that would hit them a little bit more.
Well, I'm older, let's see, on the side yard of lot one, we're 11.25. I have 10 feet required for a side yard.
So
I think what they're-
okay, so you're calling, you want to use Wall Street for the front yard. Okay.
The rear yard, when you're on these corner lots, you got two front.
Yeah, you get to pick it, but
And you get to pick your
but you're
rear
still gonna be, if you decide to pick it that way, you're still gonna be short on your.
on the front yard, yes. Yeah, the front yard, I'm 17.36. And I need
You're also
20.
be short. Well, again, we're in the I district,
Oh, okay.
so it changes things. And,
Wait a minute. We're in the ag district.
yeah, you're at 20 on the side and 40 combined. So you'll be short on combined as well.
Okay.
The way I looked at it was using Main Mill Street as the front yard. That way you have your combined, except you'll be short. On the Wall Street side, it's 17.36, you'll be 2.64 short
Right.
on that. But you still have to combine, but that line isn't changing at all. So the only thing you would need a variance for that would be the rear yard. And the rear yard in the I is 20.
Okay, and I've only got one.
Rear yard.
Yeah, so you're 8.75 on the rear, that's the only variance for a setback, if we look at it that way.
8.75?
Yeah, because it's 20 for the rear. So
Right, so 20 minus 11.25. I see what you're saying.
But you couldn't move that line south.
Well, I could move it south, yes. Yeah, I could move it 5 feet from the garage. I could move it 3.2 feet. You would like that.
if you go to 3.2 feet, you gotta remember that pavement's got, the driveway's got 3 feet. from the lot.
Yeah, I think that was one of the considerations.
So it's,
Well, there's that cut, I mean, take out that cut. A little extension to the driveway could come out, right?
I don't know if I think that it was, that pavement was probably added so you could fit 2 cars in there, one in front of the garage, and one on the side of it. I think we got that.
The real desire here is not to do anything other than subdivide, correct?
Sell them the way they are.
That might be an
Yes.
easier variance though. Driveway.
no different. I mean, there is a difference, I mean, if you were to get 3.2 feet times 82.37, looking at 420 feet, you're still not at the,
Yeah, it's not
still not at 5,000. So it's kind of a wash.
And you wouldn't be any rear yard setback, whether it's R2 or I.
So,
If you moved it 3 feet, you still wouldn't be even the R2 setback of the rear yard.
yeah, still be short on that. So it's kind of, it's really a wash. I don't, either way you want to look at it, you can decide for yourself.
Is this area gonna become R2, you think, and then
You know, it's just one area we haven't discussed yet. Eyes, just started discussing it. I really can't say that. I mean, the purpose of doing some decent changes are to make things legal that are existing already. But there's also a push to not lose area in industrial districts. So if they take that out, there's that much less industrial for future expansion.
Right, and I think if we look at that too, if you went back to that zoning map, you have to ask, what gain would there be by forcing all those homes on Wall Street out?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what you're doing. If you're gonna call, you're in effect, forcing them out. And I don't know that the I district would benefit that much by losing all that row of residences.
Not with the rest, I mean, not with the rest of the industrial area available.
Yeah. Yeah, when you look at, you know, it's already pretty much built out. I mean, you've got, the facility, the Ulster facility there, would they benefit, would they ever expand to the extent that you want to buy out that mobile home park, and buy out all those properties, those residential properties on Wall Street? What's the likelihood of that?
Company housing at one time? Was that company housing at one time?
There's an area that was a church at one point that
No, there's no continuity of the housing if you drive down. I wouldn't think it was built that way.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone from the public want to say anything? Guess not. We'll close the public hearing portion. Get that out of the way. No seeker. So it's really just reviewing each and approving or disapproving.
So which are the variances we're actually looking at?
So do we just approve them as is, calling all of the variances needed pre-existing to the new lot structure?
Can I just, what I have, after looking at this, and explain to you why I did front yard and rear yard? Because when you put that property line, I don't care about the ones that aren't being affected. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have them in their motion less the front yard setback that's short, but not require variance for it. Just for purpose for the planning board, they know that that's sort of approved. What I have for the 47 main would be the lot depth. So it's either your lot depth or lot width, it's 100 in the I.
Okay.
Now, it's a variance, but in the R district, it would, they would meet the requirements.
Well, for the variance, as we approve it,
It's gotta be an I.
if we have to deal with I.
And it says all permitted uses and, legally non-conforming, building, there's a legal permitted use, it's going to there. Anyway, it's lot depth, lot area, and rear yard, for lot. And then, on 93, lot width and lot area only. And again, we'll bless that side yard setback on the south. We discussed that previously there, so it's, the planning board knows that we're okay with that. Not being a variance. Does that make sense?
Get a revised map for it, you can look at it. I understand what you mean, but I'll just have you look at it.
Okay.
What was the lot two, was the total area?
Lot area, lot width.
Two, lot two.
I'll try to say it right.
Just those two.
Basically, we each one make a statement that any pre-existing deficiency before is acceptable.
Yeah.
After, no change.
You're gonna say that in the non-recorded letter after too, so it's the way it's going.
So do you want me to say anything differently?
Not just say that, mention the variances,
Okay.
and then mention the side yard and lot two and rear yard, or that.
Well, we're just going to do lot one first.
You can, go ahead, just mention that, we're okay with the,
Okay, with the, as they are. Okay, I make a motion to approve appeal number 2370 at 93 Wall Street, lot number 1, the Class B area variance request, subdivision created deficiencies in lot depth and lot area. we want to call out that there are deficiencies in the lot area, the lot depth, and the minimum front yard. Or are we fine with the rear yard? Just the rear yard.
Just a rear yard. Wait, okay. Let's rewind. That's lot area, rear yard on 47 versus lot line. That's what we need the variances for.
Okay.
And the front yard setback is the one.
Pre-existing, that's pre-existing.
Yeah, front yard setbacks are pre-existing, no change to the problem.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep. And any pre-existing conditions affecting the setbacks will remain as such. Okay.
Sure.
Second,
Second.
we're one step closer. That's good. Yes, it's pretty nice. All right, now 2371. Let's review. 2371 is lot 2 and
Okay, a lot width and lot area on this one. Less than the side yard setback, the south setback.
I make a motion to approve appeal number 2371, Class B area variance request, subdivision creating deficiencies in lot width and lot area. And making a note that we recognize the side yard setback deficiencies and bless it.
I'll second.
again before you have votes. So you're good on our end. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome to the zoning board and reference to variance. Everybody.
I think it's positive, there's two entry level homes in this community. It's hard for them to keep their homes out there.
Yeah. Are you looking at putting one for sale right off?
Well, I'm not in a rush.
Okay.
When all this process is over, we may listen, some of them will be there. The 75 side, some of my rental properties, I don't need to hold forever. But I do like the thought that, some young people may end up getting a home for a reasonable price. Because they're not getting out there.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you very much.
great, thank you. All right, minutes?
I'll make a motion to review the April 15, 2024 minutes and approve them as written, except that my last name is misspelled. That's okay.
You're like to tell us stuff?
It's not that last name.
Aye.